have been hit in retaliatory firing by India. We have our Deputy Managing Editor, Kartikeya Sharma, now joining us on the phone line. Kartikeya, now this is clearly, moving into phase 2 of Operation Sindoor, and it's again, it is not a call taken by India. This is again in response to what Pakistan has done. What we get from this news is the confirmation that there has been a response, a military response from Pakistan to Operation Sindoor.
Absolutely, Krishna. This is Operation Sindoor 2.0 or Operation Sindoor Phase 2, as you have just summed it up. And we have to understand that why this operation is important. Because Pakistan tried to attack Indian installations, military installations, civilian installations on the border in the intervening period. And this is the counter-response that is taking place. So let's break it down for our viewers. So that's the first part. It's a counter-response. India has not done a suo moto attack on them. It's a counter-response. The first attack on the terrorist camp was a response to Pahalgam. This is in response to their attack on our military sites. Number 2. India, in this attack, has used drone technology. Let me tell you that the war which is taking place between the two countries, or the response which India has demonstrated is right now contactless. Military is not involved. These are air responses, measured, calibrated, and actually planned. That they have planned these areas to give a message. The third most important thing is that which we had been discussing, that the Pakistan actually tried to attack India within 24-hour cycle. Last time after Balakot took place, they gave the title of their operation, if I correctly remember, the Swift Retort. So military analysts were of the view that the Pakistan will retaliate in 24 hours. So that has happened. So the larger point has been proved that the Pakistan did respond within 24 hours of India destroying terrorist camp in Bahawalpur and Muridke. Now the fourth aspect is the escalation ladder. I think now it's entirely dependent on Pakistan as to what they are going to do. The first round was in Pahalgam, the second round was in Bahawalpur, the third round was when they attacked us, and this is the fourth round. So now Pakistan now needs to decide how far they want to climb this escalation ladder. Though the national security advisors of both the countries are in touch, the foreign minister of India has briefed his counterpart of Saudi Arabia. He's already had a talk with various other NSAs, including China and United States of America. So all these things have taken place. But this escalation is telling us three things. Again, apart from the fact that what we have done, one, we have brought down their air defense system. Now, this is a very important aspect. How does a country show its technological expertise? When you have the capacity to bring down the air defense system. What did what was the first thing which happened in Operation Desert Storm? Americans brought down the entire air defense system of the Iraqi government. What did Israel do recently when there was a fight between Tehran and Israel had used missiles against Iran had used missiles against Israel, Krishna? They fired a missile on the air defense unit of Iran, and they demonstrated their technology that will make you blind. So by India attacking an air defense unit of Pakistan is a very important message they are sending. That one, we will attack your military, and second, we will attack the most pivotal part of your forces response system, which is air defense system. A country without an air defense system is blind. And if you have the capacity to attack and blind the air defense system, it should be a big warning to Pakistan, Krishna.
A big warning to Pakistan. Kartik Malhotra, very important point that Kartikeya is making. Destroying a country's air defense system is sort of like step one, isn't it? That's step one, sending a warning that, once we will first destroy your defense system and then you will be left completely vulnerable. Help us understand this H9 air defense system, HQ9 missile launchers that have been damaged in Pakistan. That is their first line of defense, isn't it?
You're right, Krishna. Actually, two parts to this again, and if I understand this correctly, and Kartikeya is there, of course, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but primarily there are two parts to this. One is, of course, the air defense system in terms of you understanding what is incoming towards you. So by India saying that the air defense system in Lahore has been destroyed or partly damaged, pretty much what it tells you is that the radar systems which are able to track what are the drones or what are the aircraft flying in the vicinity of the hemisphere of your radars is something that gets obliterated, which means Pakistan will not be able to know, and they'll be completely blindsided by any aerial attack that may happen in and around Lahore. So that is part one of it. Closely linked to this is the air defense launchers, and that is where the HQ-9 comes in. So the HQ-9 is basically a surface-to-air missile system. It's loaded on these large 3-ton and above capacity trucks, and these take aim at the aircraft which are coming into your territory after the radar confirms and after the ground crew is able to give you the exact coordinates of where the potential strike is likely to come from. That is when the HQ-9s are launched. And they are, the only reason why they exist is that they are able to acquire an aerial target and shoot it off the skies. But the fact that we have been able to neutralize the air defense system, which means Pakistan is completely blindsided, they wouldn't really know where the missiles are coming from. The second is the destruction of the launchers, the HQ-9 launchers, which means that even if there's another radar in the vicinity of Lahore, not necessarily at the Lahore airfield, and there is another radar in the vicinity that picks up the movement of aircraft in the overall air envelope, it can still logically communicate to the launchers of HQ-9 and the target can still be acquired. But the fact that the air defense system in Lahore at the airfield has been destroyed and a rocket launcher, I reiterate, at least one rocket launcher, the HQ-9 rocket launchers have also been destroyed. It means you have pretty much blinded them at one end and also restricted their ability to be fed information from any other radar and launch a counter strike immediately.
Kartik Malhotra, putting things into perspective. Kartikeya Sharma, our Deputy Managing Editor, continues to be with us on the phone. And Kartikeya, this is a clear escalation. 24 hours since Operation Sindoor, more than 24 hours since Operation Sindoor. And this, as far as Operation Sindoor was concerned, that was only striking the terror bases in Pakistan territory and in the territory of Pakistan occupied Kashmir. And it was made very clear, that was very precise, no military installations were targeted or attacked, or no civilians were targeted and attacked. And now things have gone one step up further. India has always been saying that if there is any misadventure from Pakistan, they will be given a befitting reply, and that's exactly what has happened right now.
Absolutely. So, this is phase 2 of the Operation Sindoor, because what has happened is that we have actually deployed drones to target important installations of the Pakistani state in 25 cities. And you see, let's go city by city. Karachi, Lahore, Gujranwala. It means that we must have operated our bases in Gujarat. It means that we must have operated our bases in Rajasthan. It means that we must have operated our bases in Punjab. It means we have operated our bases in Jammu. So the attack was well coordinated from the line of control to international border. That is one. The second thing is look at the technology that has been deployed. We are hitting Karachi with the help of a drone. Pakistan media itself is saying that there is no missile attack. These were drone attacks. So which means that we have the long-range drone technology. And third thing it is telling us is that the drone as a battlefield weapon is not something which we will watch in Azerbaijan and Armenia, which we'll watch in Ukraine and the Russian battlefield. It has become an equally intrinsic, integral part of the battlefield of the subcontinent. Drone is it's not a technology of future. It's a technology being used right here, right now. So that's the third most important thing, and it is redefining the battlefield. It's completely redefining the battlefield. Krishna.
Right, stay with us. So we have some more news coming in at this stage. There's an official release from PIB, or the Press Information Bureau. Can we put that on screens now? There's a statement that has come in which has confirmed that India has responded proportionately. Pakistan's bid to escalate negated. Proportionate response by India. That's the statement coming from the Press Information Bureau, or PIB. The first sentence is very important. Pakistan's bid to escalate negated. Proportionate response by India. Kartik, that's very important, isn't it? India is saying that Pakistan tried to escalate matters, and all that India has done is ensuring that matters don't escalate further with these strikes. So we're continuing with our non-escalatory precision strike narrative that we've been setting from the day one. Kartik?
India was, yeah, Krishna, because this was pretty much what India's real philosophy going into Operation Sindoor with was. India was very clear, and if we were to compare this release by PIB today and the one that we saw yesterday ahead of, of that media briefing in which we had two lady officers and Vikram Misri, the messaging was very clear yesterday. Yesterday, India said that India has taken a very, very measured response. India has taken a response which is absolutely calibrated, that there are no military targets that have been attacked, and we only went for terror camps inside Pakistan and inside POK. So the point is very simple. India had said yesterday it has done a non-escalatory strike. India has deliberately not focused on on military establishments, military targets within Pakistan, and it was pretty much the ball was in Pakistan's court. Pakistan had the choice to de-escalate. Pakistan is the one that had initiated this conflict in the first place on April 22nd at Pahalgam. Had Pakistan not initiated it, there was no need for Operation Sindoor to ever take place. But the fact that Pakistan yesterday also had a choice to finally de-escalate. But look at all the interviews that the Pakistani government officials have been giving to Western media, from Sky News to Fox, etc., saying that that they are in the mood to escalate, and that is exactly what we are seeing today. So now, if Pakistan is escalating, obviously India is going to launch phase 2 of Operation Sindoor, and that is exactly what we are seeing right now, Krishna.
Phase 2 of Operation Sindoor. Kartik Malhotra there with us on the broadcast. We also have our Executive Head of Strategic Affairs, Aditya Rajkol, now joining us on the broadcast. We also have Lieutenant General A.B. Shivane, former Director General, Merchandise Forces, with us on the broadcast. Aditya, I'm going to bring this to you first. This is, two things getting confirmed. One is that there has been a misadventure, so to speak, from Pakistan. And two is that they have been given a response to that misadventure as well.
Absolutely. There are multiple big developments coming at this, and this is putting India in a very historic position right now, Krishna. That what the Indian public had been demanding for after several terror attacks that happened, after Pathankot, after Uri, after Pulwama, and now after Pahalgam. We will enter your house and we will destroy you. That is the message that is coming across. But we don't attack civilians. We are not even attacking military installations. That's the big part here. We did precise attacks at 9 locations, and immediately after that said that this is not an escalation. This is a response to the Pahalgam terror attack and should be taken that way. This is not a call for war, but instead there was heavy artillery fire that was started by the Pakistan Army against innocent civilians. At least 16 innocent Indians died in Poonch, 53 to 54 others were injured, and in them were Hindus, were Muslims, and were Sikhs. They have spared none. There is Sikh Gurdwara in Poonch at the LOC that's been destroyed completely in the Pakistan Army fire. Apart from that, at least 4 members of the Sikh family, 3 male and 1 female, have been killed mercilessly. There are Sikh, Hindu, and Muslim, civilians who are brutally injured. They are actually fighting for their life in the hospital locally at Poonch. And now, apart from that, to the response to this kind of a cowardly behavior by the Pakistan Army targeting civilians, came the response from the Indian Army, the Indian Armed Forces. And I should read from what is mentioned here. Today morning, Indian Army and Indian Armed Forces targeted air defense radars and systems at a number of locations in Pakistan. Indian response has been in the same domain with the same intensity as that of Pakistan. It has been reliably learnt that the air defense system at Lahore has been neutralized. Pakistan has increased the intensity of its unprovoked firing across the line of control using mortars and heavy caliber artillery in areas of Kupwara, Baramulla, Uri, Poonch, Mender and Rajouri sectors in Jammu and Kashmir. 16 innocent civilians lives have been lost, including 3 women and 5 children due to the Pakistan firing. Here too, India was compelled to respond through the heavy mortar and artillery fire coming in from Pakistan to halt. And Indian Armed Forces, finally, Indian Armed Forces reiterate the commitment to non-escalation provided it is respected by the Pakistani military. I was observing the entire night, Krishna. There were reports coming in from Lahore, from Sialkot, from Islamabad of sirens buzzing, of people actually screaming, the slogan, the chant Allahu Akbar. Whenever there is fear, obviously they do that. And they did not know what is happening. And there were reports of some blasts happening somewhere. I also first thought that, I'm not sure what's happening, but somebody in the government of India. Somebody in the armed forces told me that Operation Sindoor is still underway. It's not over yet. And that means that Operation Sindoor is not restricted to the 9 locations that we talked about. Operation Sindoor is this entire gambit of the operation that's been launched against Pakistani terrorists, the Pakistani military, the Pakistani deep state, not the civilians, to show them that retaliation will happen if you continue your cowardly behavior, your jihadist mentality, and if you continue to target our civilians.
Clear response from India and more clarity there that we are in Operation Sindoor. Operation Sindoor is not over as yet. We've heard union ministers, everybody from Kiren Rijiju telling us clearly after that all-party meeting that Operation Sindoor is not over yet. Now you have proof, evidence that Operation Sindoor is not over. Aditya, please stay with us. We have Lieutenant General A.B. Shivane, former Director General Merchandised Forces, now joining us on the broadcaster. Lieutenant General A.B. Shivane, tell us about what's happening on the battlefield. We are using Harpy drones. We are using the S-400 missile defense system. This is a new level of warfare that involves a lot of precision, because this is not mindless military firing by India. We're using the most advanced technical and technological systems.
Thank you, Krishna, firstly, for getting me on this show. It's a pleasure to be here. Yes, you're right that today the Indian Army is fighting a high technology standoff, precision warfare, primarily because it is targeting terrorists, their infrastructure, their leadership, and with minimum collateral damage to the civilians or the other military establishments. This was very clearly stated in the briefing yesterday. But remember, this is not a surgical strike, neither is a Balakot strike. So Operation Sindoor today is day 2. It's not over. Why I say that? We took really 2 weeks plus to launch this operations, and at each level, the defense forces, along with the political hierarchy, had war-gamed the escalatory levels and the preparedness for responses. And that you have seen, that after yesterday's strike on those Indian Defense Forces on 9 targets, terror targets, this morning, most cowardly, as a face-shaving measure, the Pakistanis launched a drone and missile attack at 15 locations, military and civilian, starting right from Avantipur in the Jammu and Kashmir sector, going down to Run of Kutch Bhuj. So all across the line of control and the international border, they launched this. But what they did not understand, that the Indian Defense Forces have already deployed integrated, multi-tiered, multi-layered air defense systems. Starting, you're aware that what all, I will not name them or give out the ranges, obviously, but we have a plethora of long range, medium range, and point air defense system. They were all deployed in a grid to welcome this response, along with our counter UAS systems of the technology that exists. And how we welcome them? When they came to these 15 locations, we shot down the missiles, we shot down the UAVs. Now, having taken this response, now was the time to tell them that Sindoor is not over.
Fair enough. Sindoor is not over. That's a very clear, loud and clear message coming in. Aditya, from here on, again, there will be, there is calls from across the world, while many countries stand in solidarity with India, there's a lot of grave concern about matters not escalating further, that, fighting, wraps up sooner than later. But for the fact of the matter is that India is continuing to only defend itself, be it what happened in phase 1 or what is happening right now in phase 2.
India has the right to go after terrorists, and it will. When the Russia-Ukraine war happened, nobody asked India. When the Israel-Hamas conflict happened, nobody asked India. When India has been asking the world over that we have been victims of terror, support us, everybody is like, yes, we are willing to mediate, we are willing to de-escalate. Nobody is willing to, join India in its war against terror on ground. Then India has, reserves the right to hit back. And India is losing its patience. From the exodus of Kashmiri Hindus from Kashmir, from targeting of the security forces in Jammu and Kashmir, from J&K Assembly attack to the Indian Parliament attack, from Akshardham to several other bombings that have happened in markets in New Delhi, in Mumbai, the railway attack, the Pathankot attack, Dinanagar attack, from Uri to Nagrota to Pahalgam to Pulwama to, of course, Pahalgam. We have suffered so much. I mean, the clip that was played out in the Operation Sindhu press conference, the first 3 minutes, were, would make anybody cry as to how much we have suffered this Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. India is losing its patience, and India is willing to go to any lengths against Pakistan-sponsored terrorism. And the news that is coming in every passing minute is not just satisfaction for the Indian masses, but it is embarrassment for the Pakistani deep state. Rauf Azhar, the chief of Jaish-e-Mohammed, has been killed. Top intelligence and army officers have confirmed it to me. It's a massive setback. Rauf Azhar was the chief of the Jaish-e-Mohammed right now. He was the brother of the UN designated terrorist Masood Azhar. He was responsible for multiple terror attacks in India. He was in fact the number 1 or number 2 accused in the Pulwama charge sheet filed by the NIA. He was participant and also chief operational commander during the Sujao military station attack in Jammu and several other attacks, including the Indian Parliament attack. And he's one of the 14 family members of Masood Azhar who have been killed in Bawalpur seminary in Pakistan. Then if there is no terrorism in Pakistan, as is said by Khwaja Asif and his battery of misinformation ministers, then how are these people being killed? And why are the Pakistani military and the Pakistan ISI officers attending the funeral of these terrorists openly in front of the media? It clearly indicates a deep nexus that Jaish-e-Pakistani deep state and ISI and the army are in fact the real masterminds of terrorism and terror attacks like Pahalgam and Pulwama.
Right, stay with us, Aditya. Let me take this across to Kartikeya, to Kartik Malhotra as well. Kartik Malhotra, the S-400 has been, put into action. It was an important purchase that India made from the US. It was a big bone of contention, but it is the S-400, the Sudarshan Chakra of the S-400. If you can help us understand, how important this particular air defense system is and how robust it is.
Right, so I think Sudarshan Chakra, the name pretty much gives it away. What did Krishna use the Sudarshan Chakra for in Mahabharata, in the Battle of Mahabharata? Sudarshan Chakra is basically this one weapon that you launch which has the capability of destroying anything which is coming in towards your battlefield. And that is exactly what the S-400 is supposed to do. I think for lack of a better example right now, you could pretty much compare it with the Iron Dome that Israel had deployed in warding off a lot of missiles that were coming in from the Hamas attacks and then later even by the Houthi attacks on Israel. So this is pretty much India's own Iron Dome, if I may. Sudarshan Chakra is basically your surface-to-air missile destroyer. You launch it from the ground and it picks up the heat signature of whatever missiles, whatever other aircraft are coming into your zone and goes ahead and destroys them mid-air. So that is the Sudarshan Chakra or the S-400 for you, Krishna.
And visuals on your screens are of the S-400 as well, which have been put into action as part of this particular retaliation from India. Lieutenant General A.B. Shivane, you can also weigh in, help the viewers understand this S-400 missile defense system. It is this that India has used, the Indian Air Force has used to repel missile attacks by Pakistan.
Absolutely, Krishna. Let me first say that India will have to fight its own wars. And therefore, it is well kitted, both with indigenous solution and with joint ventures, whether we're talking of the S-400 from the Russians or the Barak systems from the Israelis. We have a plethora of missile and air defense systems. It is important for the viewers to understand that how does the air defense system get integrated? It is not a standalone system. There is a point air defense system at critical vulnerable areas and vulnerable points. Then ahead of that is the medium range and then the long range air defense system. It's an integrated, foolproof grade which is multi-tiered and multi-layered, as I said. And S-400 is one of the most potent systems that exist today, which can target all the Pakistani airfields and missile sites that we have, or at least 90% of them, before they even get launched into the system. So therefore, this preparation was already there. But coming, one more point I would like to highlight. Look, India is fighting a just war against terrorism, which it has suffered now for decades. So they've said enough is enough. What is Pakistani's response against? They have no targets to justify. There is no moral ground because there are no terrorist targets in India. Therefore, their response is more related to the panic that has been created and the face-saving measure you have mentioned, and very correctly. Look at the funerals of the militant leaders where you saw the Pak ISI, you saw the security forces, Pakistan Army doing their prayers hand in hand, and the way the coffins were carried. Who were they being carried by? By the state security forces. Now that brings forth that they are, firstly, they have been hit very badly by our response. Secondly, the military in the Pakistan is losing credibility in the eyes of the nation. So they have to respond. It was natural.
Fair enough.
And
Lieutenant Lady Shivani, there was a face saver of an attempt that was expected from Pakistan, and this is the face saver. But the fact of the matter is that the latest news that's coming in here is that 3 Indian military bases were targeted. Across military bases across 3 states, to be precise. There's been a missile attack on Jammu, Srinagar, and Avantipura. All of them foiled. There has been a bid to target Amritsar, Chandigarh, and Jalandhar as well. But the latest is that all Pakistani drones and missiles have been neutralized. That's the latest that we're understanding. We're taking a very short breather here at this stage. We'll be back with all the breaking news on the other side in just a minute. Keep it with News 9.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
बेबो का एक ही रूल, रोज खाओ अंडे without भूल.
Cause eggs are cool, cool, cool. Yes, eggs are cool, cool, cool. Summer में energy हो जाती है कम. खाओ अंडे, energetic रहो हरदम. Strength और power मिले हर रोज with proteins and minerals का daily dose. Eggs are cool, cool, cool. Yes, eggs are cool, cool, cool. Yes, eggs are cool, cool, cool.
संडे हो या मंडे, रोज खाओ अंडे.
Smashing corporate boundaries through sport. The News 9 Corporate Badminton Championship 2025, in collaboration with Padma Shri Pulela Gopichand, offers corporations a unique opportunity to boost employee engagement through sport.
It's a perfect blend of fun, fitness and competition. So I invite all the corporate people out there to come to the court and showcase their passion for sports as well.
Top corporates are already in. Are you?
Presenting sponsor, Srinidhi University, Kindle the Light Within. Co-powered by Tata AG, with you always. Venue partner, Gopichand Academy. Sports medicine partner, CSSH, Center for Spine and Sports Health. Associate sponsor, Blue Star, built on trust. Dinshas since 1932. D-Beats, a diamond is forever. Tata New. Celebration partner, Big Bull, the future of clubbing.
Businesses are primarily in India known by their owners.
When you start a business, you don't realize how much you're putting the entire family at risk.
The trust is a big element.
And a typical symbol of trust is usually a banyan tree. And I used to, in my early days, wonder that how will a young company look like a banyan tree?
When you brought in this beauty product, Nykaa, you try to make women look beautiful for themselves.
It's a message to women. Let the spotlight of your life be on you. And for that, we wanted her to be as confident as she wants.
India desperately needs that shift in mindset where women would be leading from the front.
They're risk takers and they do take open-ended risk, and a belief in yourself that you don't allow others to destabilize you and you keep pursuing your path.
Watch Radico Presents Duologue with Baruntas Season 3 featuring Falguni Nair at these times on News 9. News 9, English news as it should be.
This is India's #1 news network, and you're watching News 9. English news as it should be.
You are watching News, and we're continuing to get you all the latest, the big breaking stories in the aftermath of Operation Sindoor. And the first story is this: Operation Sindoor is not over. Operation Sindoor is ongoing. India has confirmed attacking multiple locations across Pakistan, and India has confirmed that these attacks took place in retaliation as a response to Pakistani attempts to target Indian cities. All those attempts, all drones and missiles have been neutralized. That's the latest that we understand. The government of India has said that 15 places in India were targeted overnight. All attempts have been foiled, and in response, the Indian Air Force has hit back and it has neutralized Lahore's air defense system, that's called HQ-9. India is destroying Pakistan's air defense battery. That's the big story that's breaking over here. And we have Executive Editor, Strategic Affairs of News 9, Aditya Raj Kaul. We have Executive Editor, Kartik Malhotra, and Lieutenant General A.B. Shivane, former Director General, Merchandise Forces, with us on this broadcast. I'm going to begin. Aditya, talk to us. There is, up until this morning, there was no confirmation. That nobody had any idea. We just kept hearing about, incidents in Pakistan. Pakistan media claiming that 12 drones were neutralized, and so many reports of blasts from across Pakistan. And now we understand what has gone on, because let's face it, including last night, there have been 13 consecutive nights of ceasefire violation by Pakistan along the line of control. And in the intervening night, Pakistan has targeted Indian military installations as well. So what else was India left with to do?
Well, Krishna, last night, a little post midnight, I heard reports from Pakistani journalists and my friends across the border that there have been reports of blasts that were heard in Lahore, in Sialkot, in near Islamabad also, in Rawalpindi as well, and there was a fear psychosis. I was also told that there were sirens going off. These are sirens of air radars, basically, that an imminent attack is likely to happen. Particularly in Sialkot. And immediately, I posted about these developments and I was called out for, spreading fake news. But, the reality was that Operation Sindoor was ongoing. Obviously, we can't discuss this situation live at that particular time. But the reality of the matter is that this is perhaps for the first time that India has boldly taken revenge, not just of the Pahalgam attack by attacking 9 different locations of terrorists and terror camps, but immediately after, Pakistan opened artillery fire, killed 16 civilians and injured 54, including children, including women, including elderly. India had no other option but to hit back. Also, Pakistan tried to, engage its air assets, etc., towards our major cities, including many in Punjab and Jammu and Kashmir, and that was completely foiled. Attacks in Amritsar, attacks in Jammu, attacks in other places like Pathankot, Chandigarh were completely foiled by our own air defense mechanism, by our own fighter jets, and of course our air defense mechanism, etc.
Right.
So at this moment, of course, Pakistan is in a huddle.
Yeah.
They want to retaliate, but they do not know how to go about it, because our air assets, our own equipments, including S-400, including fighter jets like Rafale, Mirage, MiG-29 and others, are very much deployed in Avantipura, in Srinagar, in Jammu, in Pathankot, in Chandigarh, in Amritsar, everywhere. And we are defending our territory like anything.
Right.
So Army, Air Force, all the armed forces, intelligence agencies are very much prepared. They foresee a retaliation, but they also have a plan B immediately after that retaliation.
There is also a plan B. Kartik Malhotra, it's important, isn't it? You understand the Indian Air Force very well. Help us understand the response from India. It also shows us about our air preparedness per se across locations, isn't it?
Yeah, of course, Krishna. And I think the fact that we were able to deploy drones in a timely manner, and we have now confirmation that the UAS grid drones were used to go ahead and destroy the Lahore, air defense systems. I think it pretty much shows that while India is not in favor of escalating matters, but in case, the team sitting on the other side of the fence decides to escalate it, India is absolutely prepared to go ahead and neutralize whatever targets it needs to. So I think that point is very clear. I think the professionalism of our armed forces, the military precision with which we saw the 9 targets inside Pakistan as well as in POK that got destroyed in phase 1 of Operation Sindoor, where there wasn't a single attack, and deliberately so, on any military infrastructure, any military station. I mean, you had cities, Buritki, etc., which are Sialkot, which are not more than 30-40 kilometers away from Lahore. Had India wanted, in phase 1, India could have dropped a missile, India could have targeted the Lahore airfield. India could have undertaken this exercise of destroying the air defense system of Lahore yesterday night instead of the wee hours of morning today. But India did not, as always, want to go ahead with an unprovoked escalation, and that provocation has come squarely from Pakistan this time around. So the point I'm trying to make is that India has the capability, India has the intelligence, India's armed forces are fully prepared to go ahead and strike whatever target inside the territory of Pakistan that it deems fit to put a conclusive end to this conflict. But unless Pakistan decides to de-escalate, India would be left with no choice but to go tit for tat, but to retaliate and make sure that the end objective of India's national security is fulfilled, no questions asked. So the simple point is that Pakistan has once again, in the wee hours of the morning, tried to go after India's military installations. It is not the first time it has done it. Aditya was referring to it some time back. We have recent examples of Uri and Pulwama as well, where Pakistan did try to attack India's military personnel and military infrastructure, and India was left with no choice but to retaliate. This time around also, I think India was very, very calibrated in phase 1 of Operation Sindoor. We would not have seen phase 2 had Pakistan decided to realize that it is going to be foolhardy to engage with India in a way that it did across the 15 stations that it launched missiles into. All of them obviously neutralized by India's own air defense, and the preparedness, of course, of the army, of the air force, of the navy as well as the civil police, as well as intelligence, and the fact that all of this is working in great coordination and a timely response, a non-escalatory response, and yet a response which sends a message not just to every Indian, which is prepared to deal with the consequences of further escalation, but also to every Pakistani who makes it a point, election after election to put puppet governments in charge of the country.
The big story breaking here that Kartik Malhotra is weighing on: bid to target Amritsar, Chandigarh and Jalandhar by Pakistan. All Pakistani drones and missiles have been neutralized. Ludhiana, Pathankot and Kapurthala were also on target. Pakistan trying to target military bases across 3 states. Lieutenant General A.B. Shivane, and now the ball firmly lies in Pakistan's court, isn't it? It was clear that with the phase 1 of Operation Sindoor, that all India wants is to eradicate terror bases, remove terror bases, destroy them once and for all, those terror bases that are taking innocent civilian lives in India. So India has a job and India has a duty to destroy terror. Now it is Pakistan which was the first to target Indian military bases, and even those efforts have been foiled. So if Pakistan tries to do anything more from here on, it will be them who's escalating.
Krishna, the responsibility to hike the escalatory ladder lies with Pakistan, for which the Indian Armed Forces and the nation is fully prepared. But having said that, let me give you a military strategic perspective, which is very important, of the Indian strike, the response and the counter strike, right? Post Pulwama's cowardly act of Pakistan, we chose precision warfare, chose terrorist targets, and responded specifically at leadership, infrastructure, training camps of the terrorists. And we made it very clear. What came as a response was a face-saving response on a military establishment early this morning at 15 locations across the entire length of the border, LCA and international border, on military targets and civil targets. It was foiled. So one, it shows the strength of the preparation and the technology and the equipment of the Indian Armed Forces to nullify the Pakistanis' attack. Consequent to that, India had two options. Okay, say your attacks have failed and now let's call it off. No, this was a war, a just war against terror, and we had said any response will be met by even further severe retaliation. And therefore, how do you retaliate? You don't retaliate off the cuff. You first, what you did was you suppressed the enemy's air defense systems, the HQ-9 and 9B radar systems of theirs, and the entire network, so they became blind, they became vulnerable. Then you targeted their establishments with impunity. And then again you have mentioned to them, look, we have target you with strike 2.0. If you now respond, you will get a further escalatory level. So the responsibility of what you said of escalation lies with Pakistan because they started this war at Pulwama and they need to end it now. And if they don't, they know that they are economically weak, they don't have the war endurance, they're a country with a beggar bowl, they're running out of ammunition, they're running out of oil, fuel. So it will increasingly, geometrically be adverse to them to extend this escalation ladder, which will hit them much, much more harder than what it has hit today.
Right, stay with
Over
us.
to you.
We have Major General Sudhakar G, Defense and Strategy expert, also joining us on this broadcast. Major General Sudhakar G, we are trying to understand India's response to Pakistan's retaliation and how crucial it is in the largest scheme of things. From a strategy perspective, India, talk to us about India's response to Pakistani provocation in the aftermath of Operation Sindoor.
Good afternoon. Firstly, I'm not in India, Krishna. I'm miles away. I'm in Greece, in Santorini Island. So kindly bear me out if there is a signature of any lack of connectivity. As regards to the question which you have asked, yes, definitely, without any doubt, Pakistan has activated the escalatory matrix, if at all it has started targeting. I was in one of the international channels. The same question was asked to me by the anchor, if it is targeted, because we need to corroborate and establish the fact that Pakistan has really targeted the military target. It has got very serious meaning and implication.
Yeah.
Escalation matrix, moment it is activated, it is to great disfavor. It is going to put Pakistan in a great disadvantage. This country does not have ammunition. It does not have fuel. Its troops are not going to the forward line.
It does not have money. It does not have money.
They don't have money. And mind you, this is for the first time in independent Pakistan. There is a corps, capital of Balochistan, 12 Corps. 12 Corps has got mobilized for the first time and moved to Pakistan, occupied Jammu and Kashmir, and some latest, my friends in Europe, just a couple of minutes back, they told me that some of them have also moved into Gilgit and Baltistan. So what does it mean? These are very, very, I would say, knee-jerk kind of a response or mobilization which is taking place in Pakistan. Given the fact, what you and me, we all know what is happening in Balochistan. Will anyone ever? So therefore, what am I coming to? I am coming to the fact that have they really targeted the military targets in India? It could be part of the information warfare as well. Let's not ignore or let's not discount that particular option. If it is an information warfare, it should be corroborated by some the government central agency, and a retort or a reply response method should be developed. That is what I am saying.
Right. Stay with us.
But if it is a kinetic attack, I will always maintain, although my friends across in defense services, they will say that Sudhakar is always saying the impossible. I am saying take it as a window of opportunity and exploit it to the hilt and make sure that the current alignment of the line of control shifts due west towards Pakistan. As for bid for Hajipit Pass, I know they will never give back. It will never come back. But start making noise. Our future generations will forget that with great loss of lives, loss of numerous people in the armed forces, we had taken Hajipit Pass twice, and mindful of the fact that all the routes from behind Hajipit Pass, from Pakistan occupied Jammu and Kashmir, they come and converge short of Hajipit Pass. Thereafter, they have shorter routes of access to Poonch and other places. So if you cut off Hajipit Pass or take it to our side, much of your problem of terrorism is actually going to be chopped. And to my understanding, last but not the least, Krishna, is that the fact is, it is definitely, inevitably, it is going to assume an escalatory matrix which neither Pakistan nor India can deny. It is to be leveraged by India to its advantage. My take on the whole issue is that the command, control, communication, coordination, your surveillance, your computer, your technology, whatever component and the finances vertical are linked to the ecosystem which is currently supporting the terrorist network in Pakistan. They not only should be engaged, but they should be decimated to the root. Nothing should exist. And by we should contribute in a manner or channelize our effort in a manner which should eventually see balkanization of Pakistan. The name Pakistan should not exist on the map of the world. Back to you, Krishna.
Right. So, Major General Sudhakarji, stay with us. Kartik Malhotra, I want to quickly check with you. In that sense, it's clear that Indian government has put out a response in that statement that was given on PIB, the Press Information Bureau, that India's military installations were attacked by Pakistan, and this the response was to that, isn't it? There is no ambiguity on that front.
You're right, Krishna, and good afternoon to General Sudhakarji. And of course, Krishna, I dare not agree with General Sudhakarji because about 15 years ago or so, he rescued me from the Sela Pass where he was based, and it's good to sort of share the screen with him. But yeah, you are right, Krishna. We have official confirmation that as many as 15 cities in India were the target of Pakistan missile launches in the wee hours of the morning, the midnight between 7th and 8th of May, and that is exactly what India was able to thwart very successfully, and India has in retaliation taken out the HQ-9 missile launches in Pakistan and of course taken out the air defense radar system in Lahore as well. So
Major Sudhakarji, in that perspective, so it's clear that India has put out an official statement. There were 15 cities across the border, close by to the border, which were targeted by Pakistan, and here you go. India has not only managed to thwart all those attempts, every single drone, every single missile has been neutralized. India has managed to go further and destroy Lahore's air defense system.
Excellent. That's the way to go. Like I just overheard the General Shivane sir, he was mentioning about a very weak air defense network that Pakistan has. In fact, I would go a step further. It doesn't have any air defense. Absolutely. It doesn't have. So therefore, Pakistan, with the classic example, one of your BrahMos, our BrahMos, it landed up, managed to sneak through, went and landed up in a very sensitive location. Pakistan didn't come to know about it. So what more proof are you expecting? So therefore, what I am coming to is that if Pakistan has resorted to attacking our military installations, there are multiple options. My take on the whole issue is that it is now or never. Pakistan should be treated with very punitive measure so that you activate the western border, the Duran line. You activate Balochi Liberation Army. I mean, everything is fair in love and war. There is an old saying.
All is fair in love and war.
Yeah. So if Pakistan has crossed all red lines, and doesn't have any respect for our are unarmed civilians, tourists at a place, Pahalgaon, where I have been collegius of that division. Okay, and it's far better than Switzerland. And unarmed civilians.
Sir, so even post that, you've seen
we have self-esteem.
indiscriminate firing along the line of control of Pakistan. We've already lost so many civilians near the line of control in the last 24 to 48 hours because of indiscriminate Pakistani firing. Lieutenant General A.B. Shivane, one is the fact that it's Pakistan is most vulnerable when it comes to its air defense system, and India has gone ahead. But the Pakistani army as a whole is in a vulnerable position, as Major General Sudhakarji is talking about, be it what is happening in Balochistan or Khyber Pakhtunkhwa. This is one of the most vulnerable states that the Pakistani army has ever been in.
I agree with Major General Sudhakarji. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity when Pakistan is facing multiple fronts. In Balochistan, there's a loss of face. They're getting ambushed. You saw the ambush yesterday, the video coming up. Khyber Pakhtunkhwa is happening. The militants have been targeted, and there is despondency that the state could not, protect their vital tools of terror and proxy war. And now, Pakistan, with its absolutely very low forex reserves, an economy which is barely crawling, Indus Water Treaty which has impacted them physically and psychologically from being from going dry to the creation of floods, and then being stretched across the entire border. You must understand, they can't pull out from Balochistan and the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa, where they have got two cores, and on top of that, the deployment is come. So there is a Chanakya Niti in this, to stretch them out, to tire them out. That's why you took your time.
Right.
Create windows of opportunity, select vulnerabilities, and strike them. And if they strike back, raise the level of strikes, and let me assure you and your viewers that today India is not only economically or war preparedness in a better state, but we are today prepared to respond to any escalatory ladder that is posed on us, and the ownership lies with Pakistan. And if it does go on to the higher escalatory ladder and goes on to a conventional war, I think this will be the time that Pakistan will have to think about its existence.
Right,
over to you.
Stay with us. Right, stay with us, Lieutenant General A.B. Shivane and Major General Sudhakarji and Kartik Malhotra. Let's take a look at this ground report from TV9. My colleague getting us this ground report from Kupwara. Take a look.
इस समय मैं मौजूद हूं पुंछ इलाके में। पुंछ के ठीक सामने पाकिस्तान ऑक्यूपाइड जम्मू कश्मीर का कोटली इलाका आता है। ये वही इलाका है जहां पे भारत की तरफ से ऑपरेशन सिंदूर को अंजाम दिया गया था और कई टेरर कैंप्स और लॉन्च पैड्स को तबाह किया गया था। ज्यादातर स्ट्राइक हिजबुल मुजाहिदीन, जैश ए मोहम्मद और लश्कर के ऊपर भारत की तरफ से की गई थी। ये जो ठीक सामने वाली पहाड़ी आप देख रहे हैं, ये लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल की पहाड़ी है और यहीं पर इसी इलाके में ठीक इसके पीछे पाकिस्तान का कोटली इलाका आता है। ये वो बदनाम इलाका है जहां पर आतंकियों के ट्रेनिंग कैंप्स और लॉन्च पैड चलते हैं। ये वो इलाका है जहां पे आतंकी जो है वो यहां की तरफ इन्फिल्ट्रेट करने की कोशिश करते हैं ताकि आतंकियों की घुसपैठ जम्मू कश्मीर में करवाई जा सके और साथ में जम्मू कश्मीर में लगातार जो आतंकी हमले हैं वो यहां पर करवाए जा सके। लेकिन इन सब के बीच भारत की तरफ से ऑपरेशन सिंदूर के तहत इन आतंकियों को ढेर किया गया है और पूरी तरीके से जो लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल का इलाका है, फिलहाल जो सिचुएशन बनी हुई है भारत और पाकिस्तान के बीच, सेना हाई अलर्ट मोड पर है। लेकिन इन सब के बीच ये पुंछ का इलाका सबसे ज्यादा इफेक्ट हुआ है सीज फायर वायलेशन में, क्योंकि कल पाकिस्तान की तरफ से इसी इलाके में आर्टिलरी का इस्तेमाल किया गया था। कई रिहायशी इलाकों में गोले दागे गए थे। वहीं भारतीय सेना की तरफ से भी पाकिस्तान को मुंह तोड़ जवाब दिया गया था।
इस वक्त हमारी मौजूदगी कुपवाड़ा के चौकीबल इलाके में है। ये एलओसी का सबसे फ्रंट लाइन है और यहां से आर्मी की सीमाएं शुरू हो जाती हैं। रह रहकर पाकिस्तान की तरफ से जिन इलाकों में शेलिंग की जा रही है उसमें कुपवाड़ा का चौकीबल इलाका भी आता है और उसकी वजह से पूरा मार्केट आप देखेंगे, इस कोने से दिखाइए, दाहिने तरफ से लेकर बाएं तक पूरा मार्केट बंद है, सड़कें सूनी पड़ी हुई हैं और धीरे धीरे करके इस पूरे इलाके को लोग खाली करके यहां से वापस जा रहे हैं। ऊपर के गांवों को बार बार यह कहा जा रहा है कि सुरक्षित स्थानों पर आप लोग चले जाइए, ग्रामीण इलाके को खाली करके जा रहे हैं और यहां से लेकर वहां तक एक बार जूम करिए उस लाल बस तक और वहां उस इलाके तक अगर आप देखेंगे सड़कें सूनी पड़ी हैं, इक्का दुक्का गाड़ियों को छोड़ दें तो कोई मूवमेंट नहीं है। आर्मी की मूवमेंट बहुत ज्यादा नजर आ रही है और ये पूरा इलाका, ये पूरा मार्केट इस वक्त खाली है। डर और दहशत है क्योंकि इस इलाके में रह रहकर शेलिंग हो रही है और इस शेलिंग के चलते ये एडवाइजरी है कि आप लोग जल्दी से जल्दी इलाके को खाली कर दीजिए ताकि जान माल का नुकसान ना हो। सीमाओं पर फौज की तैनाती बढ़ा दी गई है और हर एक गोली का जवाब भारतीय सेना डटकर दुश्मन मुल्क को देती नजर आ रही है।
लगातार लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल पर जिस तरह पाकिस्तान की तरफ से पहलगाम आतंकी हमले के बाद सीज फायर का उल्लंघन किया जा रहा है, दूसरी तरफ इंटेलिजेंस इनपुट्स है कि घुसपैठ का प्रयास भी आतंकियों की तरफ से हो रहा है। उसके चलते तमाम लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल के इलाकों में, चाहे वो जंगल के इलाके हैं, हाई ऑल्टीट्यूड इलाके हैं या बर्फीले इलाके हैं, वहां पर सुरक्षा बल सतर्क है। जो अलर्टनेस है वो चाक चौबंद कर दी गई है। इस समय हम मौजूद है नॉर्थ कश्मीर के लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल के फॉरवर्ड इलाके में, जहां पर आप देख सकते हैं बर्फीली पहाड़ियों पर किस तरह देश के वीर सपूत बीएसएफ का जवान जो है वो यहाँ पर तैनात है और बीएसएफ के जवान इस समय आप देख सकते हैं, हम इनकी पेट्रोलिंग पार्टी का हिस्सा है, वो पेट्रोलिंग लगातार कर रहे हैं। आप देख सकते हैं ये बर्फीली पहाड़ियां करीबन 11,000 से 13,000 फीट की ऊंचाई पर यहाँ पर है और लगातार कड़ाके की ठंड के बावजूद यहाँ पर जो सुरक्षा बल है वो तैनात है और बीएसएफ लगातार पुलवामा और फिदायीन हमले के बाद या अब पहलगाम आतंकी हमले के बाद सरहदी इलाकों में इसी तरह सतर्क है और सक्षम है और हम करीबन 11 से 13,000 फीट की ऊंचाई पर है। ये टेरनिज मेरे कैमरा पर्सन आपको दिखाएं इस तरफ मुर्तजा, ये देख सकते हैं आप, यहाँ से भी आगे ये जो पूरा ये फॉरवर्ड इलाका है लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल का, इस समय भी बर्फ यहाँ पर हल्की हल्की गिर रही है और बर्फ मौजूद है। यहाँ पर पैर भी बर्फ के नीचे दस जाता है अगर यहाँ पर कंट्रोल तरीके से नहीं चल पाए। ये देख सकते हैं हम ऊंची चट्टानें इन ऊंची पहाड़ियों पर भी लगातार मौजूद है और यहाँ देश के जवान जो है वो लगातार इन सरहदों की हिफाजत कर रहे हैं। इन तमाम इलाकों में मौसम ख़राब होने के चलते काफ़ी जो कुदरती चुनौतियां हैं वो भी रहती हैं और जवान जो है वो लगातार इसी तरह यहाँ पर सक्षम है। मेरे कैमरा पर्सन लगातार आपको तस्वीरें दिखा रहे हैं TV9 पर एक्सक्लूसिव लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल के फॉरवर्ड इलाके से, नॉर्थ कश्मीर से हम आपको दिखा रहे हैं कि बर्फीली पहाड़ियों पर किस तरह जवान जो है वो लगातार तैनात है और इन तमाम सरहदों को महफूज रख रहे हैं। दुश्मन को लगातार चुनौतियां दे रहे हैं। लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल पर सेना जो है वो लगातार जवाबी कार्रवाई कर रही है और बीएसएफ भी लगातार कमान संभालते हुए यहाँ पर इस कड़ाके की ठंड के बावजूद, बर्फ के बावजूद मौजूद है और सीधी तस्वीरें यहाँ से दिखा रहे हैं। और वहीं कश्मीर घाटी में एंटी टेरर ऑपरेशन लगातार अपने चरण पर है और करीबन 3,000 से ज़्यादा लोगों को जो है वो क्वेश्चनिंग के लिए बुलाया है। 100 से ज़्यादा सस्पेक्टेड को लगातार सुरक्षा बलों ने जो है हिरासत में लिया है और आतंकी नेटवर्क को लगातार ध्वस्त करने का प्रयास है। जम्मू कश्मीर में जॉइंट सिक्योरिटी फोर्सेस जिसमें इंडियन आर्मी, पुलिस, बीएसएफ, सीआरपीएफ के तमाम जवान जो है वो हिंटरलैंड से लेकर एलसी और लाइन ऑफ एक्चुअल कंट्रोल पर लगातार तमाम चुनौतियों को पार करते हुए इसी तरह सतर्क है और तमाम सरहदों पर नज़र जमाए हुए हैं, चाहे वो जंगल के इलाके हो और घने जंगलों के साथ साथ ऊंची पहाड़ियां हो या बर्फ की चादर से लिपटी हुई ये फॉरवर्ड पोस्ट की पहाड़ियां। हम लाइन ऑफ कंट्रोल के फॉरवर्ड लोकेशन पर मौजूद हैं और आप देख सकते हैं ये बर्फीली पहाड़ियां जो कई हजार फीट की ऊंचाई पर है। यहाँ पर जवान लगातार जो है वो पेट्रोलिंग भी कर रहे हैं और इस एरिया को मॉनिटर कर रहे हैं। लगातार दुश्मन पर नजर है। ये देख सकते हैं आप, कड़ाके की ठंड, बर्फ लगातार यहाँ पर हो रही है। उस बीच जवान जो है वो इस पूरे इलाके को पेट्रोल करके सुरक्षित कर रहे हैं और यहाँ पर जो ही कोई संदिग्ध मूवमेंट या संदिग्ध आवाज या हरकत सुनाई देती है तो यहाँ पर जवान जो है इसी तरह रुक कर पहले पोजीशन बनाते हुए फिर आगे की ओर बढ़ते हैं। आतंक की गतिविधियों पर नजर बनाए हैं, आतंकियों पर कार्रवाई कर रहे हैं और ओजी नेटवर्क को ध्वस्त कर रहे हैं।
Well, many thanks for staying with your favorite news destination. Rolling coverage here continues on News 9 because Pakistan's bid to escalate the situation following Operation Sindoor's success has been decisively negated. Let's break that down for our viewers, what exactly India did to, well, thwart the Pakistani escalation. Latest coming in is that after Lahore and Karachi, another major city, Rawalpindi, has also been hit. Visuals are coming in of the drone attack on Rawalpindi Cricket Stadium. Note that Pakistan Army headquarters is also in Rawalpindi. Visuals from Rawalpindi on your screens. That also seems to be the cricket stadium over there where the PSL match is supposed to take place between Karachi and Peshawar later in the day as well. Now, we were telling you about how Indian air defense systems first thwarted those missiles coming in from Pakistan, and then after that, the response in proportion, in swift action as well. India has responded proportionately in the same domain and intensity, neutralizing multiple Pakistani military assets, including an air defense system in Lahore as well. This comes after Pakistan launched the drone and missile attacks on Indian military targets overnight, attempting to strike Avantipura, Jammu, Pathankot, Amritsar, Bhatinda, and even deeper into the western sectors like Bhuj and Phalodi. However, India's integrated counter-UAS and the air defense systems successfully intercepted all of these threats. That's right. All of these threats completely neutralized. Pakistan's escalation left nothing but negated. The debris of Pakistani attack is now being recovered across multiple sites. Some visuals from Amritsar that we were just showing you, clearly establishing the Pakistani offensive. Some of those downed missiles and mortars that people found in hay fields across Amritsar, many of those visuals coming from the border points as well. And the cricket stadium in Rawalpindi that has been hit by our drone attacks as well. This was right after Pakistan and Islamabad tried to attack India. 15 of our locations, a big attack coming from Pakistan. And our surface-to-air missile system, the Sudarshan Chakra, the S-400 aerial defense systems being mobilized and deployed into action for the first time, downing all of these 15 projectiles, heading for all of these locations, the locations that I just mentioned for all of our viewers. We're talking about Avantipura, Jammu, Pathankot, Amritsar, Bhatinda, even deeper western sectors like Bhuj and Phalodi that were being targeted by these projectiles. A proper Ministry of Defense statement that has now come out. Pakistan's bid to escalate was negated. Proportionate response by India. Talking about how Pathankot, Amritsar, Avantipura, Srinagar, Jammu, Kapurthala, Jalandhar, Ludhiana, Adampur, Bhatinda, Chandigarh, Nal, Phalodi, Uttarlai and Bhuj. All of these places, 15 in total, were attacked with the help of drones and missiles. And the cricket stadium in Rawalpindi has been hit via Indian response. Our own Harpy drones that were used, the S-400 used to down those missile projectiles coming from Pakistan. And then on Thursday morning, India retaliated. Those are the locations that Pakistan tried to target overnight. That's the latest development and details that we're getting. Pakistan's big and major escalation, right from the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh to External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. Everybody's kept on saying the same thing. Nobody in India is looking for a war, but in case of any escalation, the retaliation will be given in the same vein, tone, tenacity. It is going to be a firm response. These 15 locations that I just mentioned to you, right from Avantipura, Srinagar, Jammu, Pathankot, Amritsar, Kapurthala, Jalandhar, Ludhiana, Adampur, Bhatinda, Chandigarh, Nal, Phalodi, Uttarlai and Bhuj. 15 locations that were targeted, and India's response has been swift, has been proportionate, giving it back to Pakistan in the same tone and tenacity. Visuals coming in from Rawalpindi, and mind you, Rawalpindi is of significance, of grave importance for Pakistani military assets, because the Pakistan military headquarters is also in Rawalpindi, to demonstrate and showcase what India can do. 24 missiles as part of Operation Sindoor, 9 terror hubs that were dismantled and flattened. None of those 24 projectiles were downed by the Pakistani air defense systems. None of them. And about 15 projectiles that came from Pakistan towards India, each and every one of those threats neutralized with the help of our surface-to-air defense system, the S-400 Sudarshan Chakra, being deployed and put into action for the first time and coming in handy. The air defense system of India holding strong in the face of these threats overnight, and today in the morning, Thursday, is when we hit back. We struck back from Pakistan, major locations. An HQ-9 air defense system of the Pakistani military has also been destroyed. The HQ-9, manufactured by China with Pakistan, downed with the help of our Harpy drones. Another lethal weapon when we're talking about destroying surface-to-air defense systems. The Indian Air Force used S-400 Sudarshan Chakra system, and India fired the air defense missiles towards the projectiles coming from Pakistan. Pakistan tried to target at least 3 states' military bases across those 15 locations that Pakistan tried to attack. Joining us here on the broadcast, Lieutenant General A.B. Shivane, former Director General, Mechanized Forces, a very warm welcome to you. And Major General Sudhakar Ji, man needs no introduction, a very warm welcome to you, General, as well. General Sudhakar, let me quickly come to you. You've been looking at these developments as well. I mean, the first thing that raised my eyebrows was the fact, why did not we know over the course of last night that our military bases across 3 states were being attacked? 15 locations. There seems to be a big and major escalation coming from Pakistan. But the silver lining here is that all 24 our missiles hit them as part of Operation Sindoor, and we downed each and every one of those 15 projectiles coming from Pakistan.
That's great, Kabir. I didn't know this aspect, that we have managed to down their projectiles or missile system. It's good. It reflects how efficient our air defense system is. And as regards, if I have understood your question, proactiveness on our part, why didn't we come to know? We knew. As a retired general, I have been actually making noise on the TV that when Chief of the Army Staff visited Northern Command, people started asking me, what has he gone for? I said, I don't know what Chief had in mind. But if I put my feet in his shoes, he should be preparing our forces for the consequences of the retaliation. And that is what I take. I'm sitting thousands of kilometers away from the country, getting to see and understand the unfolding, how the things are panning out. It's happening exactly in a very scientific and systematic manner. And our present dispensation, the political leadership is taking a very, I would say, deep involvement with passion and commitment, so that no life or minimum losses, collateral damages take place. So therefore, what I'm coming to is, there is some method in madness that is not understood by layman. There is somebody who is doing his work, bin counting is taking place, and we have our own system in place so as to deliver the intelligence which is required, which are oncoming towards own targets, or military targets. I, for one, I had given a forecast that next escalation is going to be, they will hit our military targets, they will hit our hinterland, and hinterland they will attack us with cyber They will attack us with electromagnetic spectrum blackout or jamming. They will attack us with hacking of the websites. And also they will hit our pipelines, national highways, railway network, communication, electronic and communication network, and the train services. These are going to be hampered so that the mobilization gets impeded. That is what came to my mind. But now a thing like this has happened. All I would say, Kabir, in your response is that we knew, maybe because of that, we could neutralize these missiles, oncoming missiles, midway in the air. That's how the adverse impact has been minimized or no impact has been achieved. Whereas, how best can we actually hit more effectively? There are few targets which have come to light. My take on the whole issue is we need to look at the tap from where the water of terrorism is flowing. That tap is Rathod Pindi, which has just been hit. Gradually, the message has gone out strongly. But I don't mean to say the chief of the Pakistan army, but I definitely want to say the entire ecosystem which is supporting the terrorist network in its conduct of training, in logistics, in their movement, staging points, right up to crossing the line of control and coming and contacting and attacking our troops and the civilians, including the encrypted means of communication. This is the quantum computing measures which they are actually applying, which China has developed recently. They are using that kind of a communication equipment which we are not able to intercept. So therefore, all these things have to be very systematically, in a deliberate manner, targeted so as to decimate them, just wipe them out from the face of the earth. Back to you, please.
All right. Many thanks, General Sudhakar, for that detailed opening analysis on this particular front. Let's also cut across to General Shivane. General Shivane, we're now picking up information that the airspace near Islamabad is being asked to clear out. You can hear air raid sirens in those areas of Pakistan, in Lahore, Karachi and Islamabad particularly. Those airports have been shut down. When you're talking about the second phase of Operation Sindoor, what next is going to be on the anvil? Are we looking at more than just Harpy drones entering the Pakistani airspace? What next, essentially?
The onus and responsibility of escalation lies with Pakistan and its response. And I say this with a fair amount of experience and authority, having handled the internal security desk in Kashmir and being a strike corps commander on the Western Front. Having said that, our precision strikes on specific targets were responded by 15 locations, which are military locations, whether you talk of Avantipura and down to Bhuj. We were fully prepared. These 14 and 15 days were meant not only for preparation, but for our intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance network in the multi-domain from the satellite downwards to be watching every single movement. And Pakistan has a disadvantage of strategic depth, so we can see through them all their activities and monitor. Therefore, when they launched the response, we were fully prepared, not only in terms of intelligence, but also in terms of capabilities to neutralize it before it manifests on ground and cause any substantial damage. Thereafter, what was our option? We could have stopped and said, we have neutralized, so they have failed in the response, and let's now call it off and say that we are on a high wicket. But this is not a war of narratives. This is a just war on terrorism. And we had said that if you dare to respond, our response will be of a higher trajectory. And what do we do? Very clinically, very professionally, we downed their HQ-9 and 9B radar systems, the Chinese systems and the missile systems as such, made them blind as it is their air defense system is a weakness. And thereafter, we targeted them. We not only targeted them, we targeted Rathod Pindi, where the hierarchy of the Punjab army lies. Why did we target it? Because the center of gravity of Pakistan is Pakistani army. And if we can make sure that Pakistani army loses its face in front of its nation and in front of its people, then I think the message is very clear. The militant, the terrorism will go once we have the Pakistani army and the Pakistani ISI taking a beating, and that is their center of gravity. Over to you.
Shivane, General Sudhakar, let me quickly ask you a two-pronged question. Because firstly, there's a strike that's taking place in Rawalpindi. The cricket stadium in Rawalpindi seems to be damaged, and there's a PSL match that's supposed to take place there later on as well. India versus Pakistan, the cricket rivalry is of course something else, but this is escalation on a pretty big and huge level. But the important factor here is that the military headquarters of Pakistan is also situated in Rawalpindi. How big of a jump is this? I mean, we're looking at 15 kilometers from Rajouri. The biggest attack that we made was Bahawalpur. And after that, all the drone skirmishes that took place last night, I think another message that's gone across is that we can reach right up to Rawalpindi and knock on your door as well.
Absolutely. Look, that is what I have been saying. Command, control, coordination, communication, surveillance, intelligence. These are the benchmarks on the spectrum of activity matrix. We need to target each of them and ensure that they're decimated once and for all. So when I say this, I always maintain concept of my thought process is that the tap from where the water of terrorism is flowing from Pakistan across the border into India, that tap has to be permanently shut. What does it mean? Can you actually shut down Pakistan Army? I'm saying no. Pakistan Army also has got some military operation director like we have. So ISI also is dealing with the military operation. There is somebody in military operation who organized and coordinated.
और जय हिंद जो शौर्य और पराक्रम दिखाया है उसके लिए मैं हृदय से बधाई देता हूं। पाकिस्तान और पीओके में जिस तरह से हमारी आर्म्ड फोर्सेस ने टेरर कैंप्स को नेस्त नाबूद किया है वो हम सब के लिए एक गौरव का विषय है। साथियों, आप सभी नेशनल क्वालिटी कॉन्क्लेव का आयोजन ये आपका चल रहा है। क्वालिटी की क्या भूमिका होती है, यह क्या रोल अदा करती है, इसका नमूना हमने कल देखा। जिस प्रेसिजन के साथ यानी जिस सटीकता के साथ ऑपरेशन सिंदूर एग्जीक्यूट किया गया वह अनइमेजिनेबल है, बहुत ही सराहनीय है। इसमें 9 टेररिस्ट कैंप्स तबाह हुए और अच्छी खासी संख्या में आतंकी मारे गए। जिस तरह से इस ऑपरेशन को किसी भी इनोसेंट को नुकसान पहुंचाए बिना मिनिमम कोलेटरल डैमेज के साथ अंजाम दिया गया, वह इसलिए संभव हो पाया क्योंकि हमारे फॉर्मिडेबल एंड प्रोफेशनली ट्रेन्ड आर्म्ड फोर्सेस के पास इक्विपमेंट भी हाई क्वालिटी के थे। ऐसे में इस क्वालिटी कॉन्क्लेव को मैं बड़े महत्वपूर्ण कॉन्क्लेव के रूप में देखता हूं। मैं इस आयोजन के लिए डिपार्टमेंट ऑफ डिफेंस प्रोडक्शन और इनके सेक्रेटरी डिफेंस प्रोडक्शन श्री संजीव कुमार को भी हार्दिक बधाई देता हूं और क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को भी मैं बधाई देता हूं। साथियों, अभी मैं इस कॉन्क्लेव की थीम देख रहा था, फास्ट ट्रैकिंग ऑफ क्वालिटी एश्योरेंस थ्रू इंटीग्रेटेड अप्रोच एंड टेक्नोलॉजी एनेबल्ड प्रोसेसेस। आपकी यह थीम मुझे बेहद अच्छी ही नहीं लगी बल्कि दिलचस्प भी लगी, इंटरेस्टिंग लगी। वैसे भी पूरी दुनिया में इसमें बड़ी तेजी से डिसरप्टिव चेंजेस हो रहे हैं और खासकर डिफेंस सेक्टर में तो लगातार नए नए ट्रांसफॉर्मेशंस ये देखने को मिल रहे हैं। ऐसे में क्वालिटी असेसमेंट को फास्ट ट्रैक करना न सिर्फ रेलेवेंट है बल्कि मैं समझता हूं यह समय की मांग है। उन चेंजेस को देखते हुए यह थीम अपने आप में बहुत ही रेलेवेंट हो जाती है। इतनी इंटरेस्टिंग और रेलेवेंट थीम रखने के लिए भी मैं आप सबको बधाई देता हूं। साथियों, अक्सर मुझे आर्म्ड फोर्सेस के अलग अलग कार्यक्रमों में प्रायः जाने का अवसर मिलता है। रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस के इवेंट्स में जाने का भी अवसर मिलता रहता है। प्राइवेट सेक्टर द्वारा आयोजित कार्यक्रमों में भी मैं प्रायः जाता ही रहता हूं। परंतु आज का यह जो मंच है यह अपने आप में बड़ा अलग है और एक विशिष्ट मंच है। मैं ये देख रहा हूं कि यहां कई सारे लोग हैं जो अलग अलग फील्ड्स में महारत जिन्होंने हासिल की है, महारथी बैठे हैं यहां। इसलिए मुझे लगता है कि आज की हमारी बातचीत भी कई मायनों में विशेष होने वाली है। साथियों, इस क्वालिटी कॉन्क्लेव की महत्ता और आवश्यकता पर तो मैं आगे चर्चा करूंगा ही, परंतु पहले मैं आपको कुछ ऐसे बिंदुओं से, कुछ ऐसे पॉइंट से अवगत कराना चाहूंगा जो हमारी सरकार की प्रायोरिटीज से जुड़े हुए हैं। 2014 में माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी के नेतृत्व में हमारी सरकार आने के बाद प्रधानमंत्री जी ने हमें एक अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण सूत्र प्रदान किया। उन्होंने शुरुआत में ही डिफेंस प्रोडक्शन सेक्टर के इम्पावरमेंट पर विशेष बल दिया। उन्होंने जो सूत्र दिया उसके पीछे की फिलॉसफी थी डिफेंस सॉवरेंटी। डिफेंस सॉवरेंटी का मतलब कि जब तक कोई देश अपनी डिफेंस नीड्स में कैपेबल तथा सेल्फ रिलायंट नहीं होता तब तक उसकी आजादी पूरी तरह से नहीं मानी जा सकती। जब तक हम अपनी सुरक्षा के लिए इंपोर्ट पर डिपेंडेंट रहेंगे तब तक कहीं न कहीं हमारी आत्मशक्ति में अधूरापन रहेगा ही। अगर हम अपने हथियार और रक्षा उपकरण विदेशों से खरीदते हैं तो इसका मतलब है कि हम अपनी सुरक्षा को आउटसोर्स कर रहे हैं और उसे किसी और के भरोसे छोड़ रहे हैं। यह बात लॉन्ग रन में सही नहीं हो सकती। हमारी सरकार ने इस विषय पर गंभीरता से सोचा और आत्मनिर्भरता हासिल करने का निर्णायक कदम भी उठाया है। आप सब तो जानते ही हैं कि देश में पहले से ही ऑर्डिनेंस फैक्ट्रीज का एक इंडिजिनस सिस्टम रहा है और इन फैक्ट्रीज ने एक समय पर बेहतरीन काम किया और देश की सुरक्षा जरूरतों को पूरा करने में बहुत ही अहम भूमिका निभाई भी है। इनके अलावा हमारे पास डिफेंस पीएसयूज का भी एक मजबूत इकोसिस्टम पहले से ही है। हमारी सरकार ने डिफेंस प्रोडक्शन में क्वालिटी और क्वांटिटी दोनों पर समान रूप से बल दिया है। इसी दिशा में कई क्रांतिकारी कदम उठाए गए, जिनमें से कुछ महत्वपूर्ण कदमों का उल्लेख मैं यहां करना चाहूंगा। ऑर्डिनेंस फैक्ट्रीज का कॉर्पोरेटाइजेशन उनमें से एक अत्यंत महत्वपूर्ण कदम रहा है, जिसे हमने इंश्योर किया ताकि कम समय में ही डिफेंस प्रोडक्शन में व्यापक सुधार हो सके। यहां मैं जरूर बताना चाहूंगा कि ऑर्डिनेंस फैक्ट्रीज का कॉर्पोरेटाइजेशन हमारे लिए कोई बहुत सरल प्रक्रिया नहीं थी। इसमें अनेक जटिल प्रश्न थे और चैलेंजेज भी थे, परंतु हमने इसे इसलिए लागू किया क्योंकि यह एक अर्जेंट रिफॉर्म था। अब प्रश्न उठता है कि यह अर्जेंट क्यों था। इसका एक बड़ा कारण था क्वालिटी। आप सभी स्पेशलिस्ट के समक्ष मैं यह कह सकता हूं कि सरकार ने क्वालिटी को अपना प्रायोरिटी रिफॉर्म एजेंडा बनाया है। हमने क्वालिटी इंप्रूवमेंट को ही टारगेट करते हुए ऑर्डिनेंस फैक्ट्रीज का कॉर्पोरेटाइजेशन किया। तब से लेकर आज तक डिफेंस पीएसयूज ने लगातार सुधार किया है और कॉर्पोरेटाइजेशन के पश्चात क्वालिटी प्रोडक्शन को लगातार आगे बढ़ाने का प्रयास भी किया गया है और आज ये डीपीएसयूज इंटरनेशनली कॉम्पिटिटिव हो रहे हैं। आज ये अपने रिसर्च एंड डेवलपमेंट पर भी अच्छा फोकस कर रहे हैं। आज ये ऑर्गेनाइजेशन पहले से कहीं ज्यादा वाइब्रेंट और एक्सपोर्ट ओरिएंटेड हो रहे हैं। वैसे तो अभी कुछ कार्य बाकी है, पर मैं इतना जरूर आश्वस्त हूं कि जिस प्रकार पब्लिक सेक्टर में रिफॉर्म के लिए हम प्रयासरत हैं, वह हमें आने वाले समय में काफी अच्छे रिजल्ट्स देने वाला है। साथियों, पब्लिक सेक्टर के डेवलपमेंट के पीछे हमारा एक ही उद्देश्य भी रहा है कि एक हेल्दी कॉम्पिटिटिव प्राइवेट डिफेंस इकोसिस्टम का विकास किया जाए, जो अपनी क्वालिटी के माध्यम से देश की सुरक्षा को और अधिक मजबूत बनाए। जैसा कि हम सभी जानते हैं।
All right, so that was the Defense Minister speaking at the National Quality Conclave at the DRDO Bhavan in the national capital, speaking about the bravery and the valor that the armed forces have shown, speaking, of course, about Operation Sindoor, talking about the accuracy, the pinpoint precision of our technology, of our equipment as well, the 9 terror camps that were left completely flattened, and of course, along with it, the big success of Operation Sindoor was the fact that there was minimum collateral damage. All of that was due to only the equipment and the technology, the next gen tech that we have incorporated in our military prowess. The quality and quantity aspect was again highlighted by the Defense Minister at the National Quality Conclave, saying that quality improvement was an agenda, a priority of the PM Modi government. Action taken by the armed forces is a matter of pride. The valor, the bravery, the accuracy, the pinpoint precision, the lack of collateral damage, all of our targets hit. The equipment and the next gen technology that is being used, everything highlighted by the Defense Minister. And this speech coming right after the all-party meet, where again the Defense Minister said that 100 terrorists have been neutralized, and this is not the end of Operation Sindoor. It is going to continue to go on, which is again what we've been reflecting, because last night Pakistani projectiles attempted to target 15 locations, military bases across 3 states, and India has responded yet again in the same vein, tone and tenacity. Well, now Pakistan's bid to escalate the situation following Operation Sindoor has been decisively negated. Latest coming in is that after the Lahore and Karachi, another major city, Rathod Pindi, has also been hit. Visuals are coming in of the drone attack on the Rathod Pindi cricket stadium, and one has to again note that the army headquarters are in Rathod Pindi as well. And India has responded proportionately in the same domain and intensity, neutralizing multiple Pakistani military assets, including an air defense system in Lahore as well. But here's what we're trying to tell you, because Pakistan Member of Parliament, he broke down in the National Assembly. He says, please save Pakistan. This is a Pakistan Member of Parliament who's crying in the National Park Assembly, and he's also the former Pakistan Army Major. He's the one who's shedding tears in the Assembly. He says, I'm praying to Allah to protect us. This is a Pakistan Member of Parliament, a former Army Major, completely left in tears at this point in time. Please save Pakistan is what he's asking for, his cries in the National Assembly.
जब भी गई है तो गोल्ड मेडल लेके आई है एक्सरसाइज में करें, तो इसलिए जनाब स्पीकर ये बात वाजा कर देनी चाहिए, हमारी कौम यकजा है। मैं इन सब से कहूंगा कि मिल के चलो और अपने रब से रजू करो। रब काबा, हम तेरे आगे दरख्वास्त करते हैं, इस मुल्क की हिफाजत फरमाना जो तूने हमें अता किया है, और ये नबी सल्लल्लाहु अलैहि वसल्लम की दुआओं का है। आपने कायदे आजम को इंग्लैंड में मुलाकात की, ख्वाब में आए और उनको कहा कि जाओ वापस और जाके पाकिस्तान का मामला हल करो। आप खान अफकलात को ख्वाब में आके ये हुक्म दिया कि तुमने पाकिस्तान की सरना है, ये मुल्क बन के रहेगा और तुमने तो ये ऐसा बड़ा मौजज़ा है कि अल्लाह पाक ने ये हमें अता किया है, और अल्लाह पाक इस मुल्क की हिफाजत फरमाएंगे। दुनिया में जहां भी देखें शायद हमारी कमी है, हम मजबूर हैं, हम गुनाहगार हैं, लेकिन रब काबा हम तेरे हबीब के उम्मती हैं, खुदा का वास्ता हमसे रहम का भला फरमा। आप चले जाएं, उधर फिलिस्तीन भी चले जाएं, कश्मीर में चले जाएं, जहां भी जाएंगे मुसलमानों के साथ वो ऐसे रो रहा है जो हम सोच भी नहीं सकते हैं। तो तू हमें माफ कर दे, हम तेरे आगे सर झुकाते हैं, माफी मांगते हैं। नहीं, इसमें दो राय नहीं है मौला कि हम बड़े गुनाहगार हैं, लेकिन तेरी रहमत बहुत वसी है।
Well, that's the Member of Parliament, and this is again, like I mentioned before, the former Pakistan Army Major shedding tears in the National Assembly, says, I'm praying to Allah to protect all of us. I know that we have sinned, but it is your, of course, forgiveness that we seek at this point in time. Pakistan Member of Parliament crying in the National Assembly. This is the political spectrum. This is how the political sphere in Pakistan is now reacting and resorting to. Pakistan Member of Parliament breaking down in the National Assembly, and then you've got Shehbaz Sharif asking all of his other coalition members, all parties in the opposition as well, in his address to the nation just last night, to make Pakistan prosperous again. If these were the steps that they're taking to make Pakistan prosperous again, well, I think it's time again to go back to the drawing board, to the whiteboard again, because this is another Member of Parliament again signifying, helping us symbolize what the people of Pakistan are actually going through at this point in time. Pakistan Member of Parliament crying in the National Assembly, asking for forgiveness, for protection from the Lord above. Meanwhile, speaking at the 65th National Quality Conclave, you had the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh, who saluted the valor and the courage of the armed forces and of course gave a little briefing into Operation Sindoor as well. Here's the Defence Minister on your screens.
क्वालिटी की क्या भूमिका होती है, यह क्या रोल अदा करती है, इसका नमूना हमने कल देखा। जिस प्रेसीजन के साथ यानी जिस सटीकता के साथ ऑपरेशन सिंदूर एग्जीक्यूट किया गया, वह अनइमेजिनेबल है, बहुत ही सराहनीय है। इसमें 9 टेररिस्ट कैंप्स तबाह हुए और अच्छी खासी संख्या में आतंकी मारे गए। जिस तरह से इस ऑपरेशन को किसी भी इनोसेंट को नुकसान पहुंचाए बिना मिनिमम कोलेटरल डैमेज के साथ अंजाम दिया गया, वह इसलिए संभव हो पाया क्योंकि हमारे फॉर्मिडेबल एंड प्रोफेशनली ट्रेन्ड आर्म फोर्सेस के पास इक्विपमेंट भी हाई क्वालिटी के थे। ऐसे में इस क्वालिटी कॉन्क्लेव को मैं बड़े महत्वपूर्ण कॉन्क्लेव के रूप में देखता हूं।
Well, we're constantly telling you about the drone skirmishes that took place along the border last night. And the air defense units of the Pakistani army in Sialkot and Lahore, these HQ-9 machines that you see on your screens, they suffered heavy damage. Sources are telling us that the HQ-9 missile defense system units, we've got the S-400, they've got the HQ-9, developed by China, they were hit, effectively rendering the Pakistani army defenseless in Lahore and in Sialkot. Now, the HQ-9, this defense system, it's developed by the China Aerospace Science and Industry Corporation. The system is a key asset in Pakistan's aerial defense arsenal. This HQ-9 that you see again on your screens is designed to counter a wide range of aerial threats, including enemy aircraft. We're talking about drones, we're talking about ballistic missiles and entire aircrafts as well. But depending on the variant, it can strike targets at ranges between 200 to 300 kilometers. This HQ-9 machinery is equipped with a powerful radar system. The HQ-9 can detect targets up to 120 kilometers away. And this aerial defense system, it boasts the ability to track over 100 targets and can simultaneously engage up to 50 other targets as well, making it one of the most advanced systems in its class. We've got the S-400, the Sudarshan Chakra system that came in handy as well, downing each and every one of those projectiles coming from Pakistan. But our drones, they did end up penetrating the system, and some of those HQ-9 systems have been destroyed in Lahore. That's the latest that we're tracking for you. Missile debris, it was found in Amritsar, in Makhan Vindi, and this comes as locals, they heard multiple explosions past midnight. Army personnel cordoned off the area where the projectile debris were found in the border areas, like you can see on the left sides of your screens. And in India's retaliation, we hit back with our Harpi drones this morning, rendering many of those key aerial defense systems of Pakistan, the Chinese-made HQ-9 machineries, defenseless and unusable. Well, time for us to slip into a quick commercial breather here. But on the other side, we'll tell you about Abdul Rauf as well. Another one of those people, key mastermind of the Kandahar Indian Airlines hijacking, who's also neutralized as part of Operation Sindoor. That's coming right on the other side. Keep it with News 9.
बेबो का एक ही रूल, रोज खाओ अंडे विदाउट भूल।
Cause eggs are cool, cool, cool. Yes, eggs are cool, cool, cool. Summer में energy हो जाती है कम। खाओ अंडे, energetic रहो हरदम। Strength और power मिले हर रोज with proteins and minerals का daily dose। Eggs are cool, cool, cool. Yes, eggs are cool, cool, cool. Yes, eggs are cool, cool, cool.
संडे हो या मंडे, रोज खाओ अंडे।
Smashing corporate boundaries through sport. The News 9 Corporate Badminton Championship 2025, in collaboration with Padma Shri Pulela Gopichand, offers corporations a unique opportunity to boost employee engagement through sport.
It's a perfect blend of fun, fitness and competition. So I invite all the corporate people out there to come to the court and showcase their passion for sports as well.
Top corporates are already in. Are you?
Presenting sponsor, Srinidhi University, Kindle the Light Within. Co-powered by Tata AG, with you always. Venue partner, Gopichan Academy. Sports medicine partner, CSSH, Center for Spine and Sports Health. Associate sponsor, Blue Star, built on trust. Dinshas since 1932. D-Beats, a diamond is forever. Tata New. Celebration partner, Big Bull, the future of clubbing.
Welcome back. Thanks for staying with us. Operation Sindoor 2.0, the next phase of Operation Sindoor. That's what we're focusing on, because after Pakistan's major escalation just last night, India has retaliated and struck back in the same vein, tone and tenacity. And now the latest development that we're tracking for all our viewers is that the Ministry of External Affairs is going to be conducting a press briefing today at 5:30 p.m. That's the latest that we're tracking. Watch on News 9 to cut you live that Ministry of External Affairs press briefing. I believe so. Just like last time, there was a big screen on which a proper presentation was given as to what Operation Sindoor ended up achieving. It was a big and major success. 9 terror hubs across Pakistan and POJK that were completely flattened and neutralized. Now the MEA special briefing on Operation Sindoor, what happened over last night, what prevailed in terms of the skirmishes on the border, drones and missiles from both sides attempting to target locations, India downing all of those 15 projectiles coming from Pakistan. And right after that, on Thursday morning today, Harpy drones from the Indian side were mobilized, deployed, and many of those aerial defense systems of the Pakistani military were attacked. These are HQ-9 systems developed by China with Pakistan, key asset for the Pakistani military. When you're talking about surface-to-air missile, aerial defense systems, they could not hold strong, unlike, of course, the Indian side, the S-400, our own Sudarshan Chakra, coming in quite handy. But then again, let's also talk about what Operation Sindoor actually ended up achieving, because India's Operation Sindoor did not just avenge the deaths of the 26 people in the Pahalgam terror carnage, but also had a far-reaching impact on the global fight against terrorism. We're earlier talking about Masood Azhar and his 14 family members, inclusive of associates as well, that were neutralized. And now the Indian Armed Forces precision strikes, they've killed Abdul Rauf Azhar as well, the operational head, the supreme commander of Jaish-e-Mohammed, and of course the mastermind of the IC-814 Kandahar hijacking. Abdul Rauf, full name Abdul Rauf Azhar, took over the leadership of Jaish-e-Mohammed back in 2007 after his brother Masood Azhar went underground and into hiding. And since then, he has been one of India's most wanted terrorists with direct involvement in many terror attacks against India. He's been one of India's most wanted terrorists, direct involvement in several high-profile terror attacks targeting the Indian soil, He's a designated global terrorist by the United States back in 2010, and Rauf Azhar is also known for maintaining strong links with other extremist organizations and terror outfits, just like the Lashkar-e-Toiba. We're talking about Al-Qaeda. Also has strong links with the Haqqani network in Afghanistan as well. And his most infamous operation remains the hijacking of the Indian Airlines flight IC-814 in 1999, which forced India to release 3 jailed terrorists, including his elder brother Masood Azhar, the former supreme commander of Jaish-e-Mohammed. Rauf had planned, he had coordinated and financed the hijacking using Hawala networks to transfer the funds. The IC-814 Kandahar hijacking and Abdul Rauf's key role in it. He reportedly rented safe houses for the hijackers, maintained active communication during the hijacking, and ultimately orchestrated the release of his brother Masood Azhar. Not just avenging the 26 deaths of the Pahalgam terror strike, but far-reaching impact in India's fight against global terrorism. After Masood Azhar and 14 of his associates and family members that were neutralized, were picking up information that Abdul Rauf Azhar, the supreme commander of Jaish-e-Mohammed, was also killed and neutralized in the Operation Sindoor strikes. Abdul Rauf Azhar was involved in multiple terrorist attacks against India. Jaish-e-Mohammed's role in the Pathankot strikes, in the Pulwama terror attack, in the 2001 Parliament attack. It has all been there out in global domain. The Jaish-e-Mohammed terror outfit has been implicated in many terror attacks on Indian soil. Rauf Abdul Azhar neutralized in Operation Sindoor. Now, whilst we're talking about the escalation between India and Pakistan, there is a lot more that Pakistan's military has to deal with right now, because the Baloch Liberation Army has killed 14 Pakistani army personnel in 2 separate attacks in the Bolan and Kech regions of Balochistan province. Some of those blast visuals on your screens as well. And the BLA, the Balochistan Liberation Army, has claimed responsibility for the twin attacks. BLA Special Tactical Operations Squad executed a remote-controlled, improvised explosive device attack on a Pakistani military convoy in the first attack in Bolan. The explosion, according to reports, killed all the 12 soldiers on board the convoy, including Special Operations Commander Tariq Imran and Subedar Umar Farooq. The military vehicle was completely destroyed in the blast, and in another, this separate attack, the BLA fighters targeted a bomb disposal squad of the Pakistani army in the Kulag Tigran area of Kech. The remote-controlled improvised explosive device explosion killed 2 more Pak army personnel. In 2 separate attacks, you've got 14 Pak soldiers that were killed. Both those attacks on your screens as we speak. The moments when the blast happened, when the explosion took place. But even before Operation Sindoor, India has been flexing our hydropower. Our dam diplomacy has taken center stage, and Indian authorities have opened one gate of the Salal Dam on the Chenab River, and this move aims to regulate rising water level caused by the continuous downpours. The gates of the Baglihar Dam have been opened following heavy rainfall in the region as well, and the controlled release of water has triggered concerns in Pakistan, with fears of possible flooding in downstream areas. The Chenab River, which flows into Pakistan, is a vital waterway, and sudden changes in its flow can significantly impact the region. India opened only one gate of the Salal Dam, but did so without formally notifying Pakistan now that the Indus Water Treaty is in abeyance. This has raised objections, as prior communication is typically expected under the terms of the Indus Water Treaty governing cross-border river management. One gate of the Salal Dam opened up after continuous downpour in the region. Even the Baglihar Dam, some of those gates opened up because of incessant rainfall. Chenab River an important and vital water resource for Pakistan. It flows into Pakistan, and the Indus water is accounting for 80% of irrigation water that Pakistan needs for its GDP, for its agricultural produce as well. Many in Punjab's Pakistan, in terms of farmers, have been advised to not cultivate paddy, to not grow rice anymore, because it requires a lot more water. And Pakistan's administration already reeling under the effect of the suspension of the Indus Water Treaty. And well, at this point in time, we're talking about those border skirmishes. We've now got those pinpoint locations where the attacks exactly happened. Let's throw them on the screen for the perusal of all of our viewers as well. Take a look at this. And this has happened just last night. Locations Pakistan tried to attack and target with their projectiles as well. Take a look at that. You've got locations on both sides. I'm again mentioning that particular list from Avantipura to Srinagar to Jammu to then of course Chandigarh. You've got Amritsar, you've got various regions in Rajasthan as well, and of course you've got some of those deep western area sectors, western sector areas that were also targeted by the Pakistani projectiles. But what's good is that the S-400 Sudarshan Chakra, it was deployed against those Pakistani strikes, to respond against those Pakistani strikes, and it came in handy. It held strong. Not a single one of those projectiles ended up hitting the targets. We're again mentioning that Pakistan, in this big and major escalation over last night, tried to target 3 military bases across various states in India, and all of those 15 projectiles were downed by our own S-400 Sudarshan Chakra aerial defense systems. On the other hand, right this morning, Harpy drones were used to target Pakistan's air defense systems. We've got the S-400. They've got Chinese manufactured HQ-9 aerial defense systems, which were completely left gutted and destroyed. At least the visuals that we got from Lahore tell us that very story. India has neutralized Pakistan's air defense system in Lahore. And a big message that is also gone, with the Harpy drones also attacking the Rathod Pindi cricket stadium, where in Rathod Pindi, the military headquarters of Pakistan is also situated. Another big message: we can come right on your door knocking in any case of escalation, because India has time and again said, after Operation Sindoor, India is not looking for a war, we're not looking for escalation, but in the face of any hostile escalation, there is going to be firm, very firm response coming in from the armed forces as well.
देखो मैं सामने वो से ड्यूटी दे हां ऐसे हम मिसाइल का देखो है पिंडी दा स्टेडियम है साइड मैं आ सामने बैठा मिसाइल का जो शीशे टूट गए ने है पिंडी दा स्टेडियम बाहर है देखो है हालत जी ओ एक लड़का डिग गया मैं सामने हां बड़ी मुश्किल जान छुड़ा के ओ देखो भी शीशे टूट गए पिंडी स्टेडियम में।
क्वालिटी की क्या भूमिका होती है, यह क्या रोल अदा करती है, इसका नमूना हमने कल देखा। जिस प्रेसिजन के साथ यानी जिस सटीकता के साथ ऑपरेशन सिंदूर एग्जीक्यूट किया गया, वह अनइमेजिनेबल है, बहुत ही सराहनीय है। इसमें 9 टेररिस्ट कैंप्स तबाह हुए और अच्छी खासी संख्या में आतंकी मारे गए। जिस तरह से इस ऑपरेशन को किसी भी इनोसेंट को नुकसान पहुंचाए बिना मिनिमम कोलेटरल डैमेज के साथ अंजाम दिया गया, वह इसलिए संभव हो पाया क्योंकि हमारे फॉर्मिडेबल एंड प्रोफेशनली ट्रेन्ड आर्म्ड फोर्सेस के पास इक्विपमेंट भी हाई क्वालिटी के थे। ऐसे में इस क्वालिटी कॉन्क्लेव को मैं बड़े महत्वपूर्ण कॉन्क्लेव के रूप में देखता हूं। साथियों, मैं समझता हूं कि इस दिशा में प्रयास करने का यह सबसे उचित समय है, क्योंकि इस समय जो परिस्थितियां चल रही हैं उसे आप सब देख रहे हैं। हमारे रीजन में ही आज जो स्थितियां उत्पन्न हो रही हैं उससे आप सभी अवगत ही नहीं हैं, बल्कि अच्छी तरह परिचित हैं। हमने हमेशा ही एक रिस्पांसिबल नेशन होने का रोल बड़े संयम से निभाया है, सदैव निभाया है। हम लगातार इस बात के पक्ष कर रहे हैं कि समस्याओं का समाधान बातचीत के जरिए से हो, परंतु इसका अर्थ यह नहीं है कि हमारी सहनशीलता का कोई नाजायज फायदा उठाए। यदि कहीं कोई हमारे इस संयम का फायदा उठाने की कोशिश करता है तो उसे कल की तरह ही क्वालिटी कार्रवाई का सामना करने के लिए भी पूरी तरह से तैयार रहना होगा। कल की तरह ही क्वालिटी कार्रवाई का सामना करने के लिए उसे तैयार रहना होगा। भारत की संप्रभुता की सुरक्षा में कोई भी हद हमारे लिए बाधा नहीं बनेगी।
Joining us here on the broadcast is News 9's Executive Editor, Strategic Affairs, Aditya Rajkaul. Aditya, the Defence Minister yet again heaping praises on the armed forces, talking about the accuracy and the pin precision strike. The silver lining here being the minimum collateral damage. But we've given it back to Pakistan in the same tone and tenacity for their major escalation on 15 different locations just last night. And our Harpy drones this morning being mobilized, their HQ-9 versus our S-400. I think we see who's the clear winner here.
Well, absolutely. It's visible yet again, with multiple videos coming in from Rathod Pindi, Lahore, Sialkot and many other locations inside Pakistan. There was an attempt by Pakistan that was completely thwarted. They wanted to attack our cities, including Amritsar, including Srinagar, Jammu, Pathankot, and many other cities. But that's been thwarted completely by S-400, by the Indian Air Force, by our air defense, and of course the other measures that we adopted. Of course, in Amritsar, there was a fear that the missiles that were launched by Pakistan could hit the Holy Golden Temple, and also because only a few hours ago, Pakistan had launched attacks on Sikh community and Gurdwara in Punch. 4 Sikh community members, including a woman, were killed there. In total, 16 civilians were killed and more than 50 have been injured in that attack. So there was growing fear that the Golden Temple could also come under attack of the Pakistan army, and that's why precautions were taken. There was a complete blackout for at least a few hours across Amritsar, including the Golden Temple. So Indian security forces, Indian armed forces coming to the rescue and protection of the Holy Golden Temple as well. So a very strong response coming in from Raksha Mantri, Minister of Defence, Rajnath Singh, standing and congratulating with the security forces and armed forces of India, saying that precision strikes were carried out, and a strong message was given to Pakistan as part of Operation Sindoor at 9 different locations that don't test our patience. We are not going to look the other way. A very strong response will come and has come, and that is clearly indicative of the fact how India has already lost its patience with Pakistan. And even though Pakistan prepares for a retaliation now, India again is very much prepared. The wargaming has completely happened on the drawing board, on the storyboard, on how Pakistan might retaliate, what are the options with Pakistan, and what will be then further our reaction to it. India will certainly not look the other way. I can tell you that the drone attacks that happened using very sophisticated equipment by India happened in response to the civilian killings that happened in Punch, and also the attack that was launched in Amritsar and Srinagar and other places in Jammu and Kashmir and Punjab. A very strong, swift response by the Indian forces as part of Operation Sindoor. Today at 5:30 p.m, India's Foreign Secretary Vikram Misri will again be holding a press briefing, giving details of Pakistan's artillery fire and how ceasefire violations have progressed, how civilians have been killed, and the nefarious design of attacking Indian cities that has been completely thwarted, and a strong response given to Pakistan.
Vikram Misri, the Foreign Secretary, even in that first press briefing after Operation Sindoor, he had this solemn face. He knew he was going to deliver something of grave significance. And I think all eyes on that 5:30 p.m. special briefing by the Ministry of External Affairs as well. Aditya, many thanks for joining us here on the broadcast. We're going to slip into a quick commercial breather here, but rest assured, rolling coverage on Pakistan's escalation being negated and India giving it back to them in the same tone and tenacity continues right here on News 9. Don't go anywhere.
Smashing corporate boundaries through sport. The News 9 Corporate Badminton Championship 2025, in collaboration with Padma Shri Pulela Gopichand, offers corporations a unique opportunity to boost employee engagement through sport.
It's a perfect blend of fun, fitness and competition. So I invite all the corporate people out there to come to the court and showcase their passion for sports as well.
Top corporates are already in. Are you?
Presenting sponsor, Srinidhi University.